Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking the ultimate two-pillar strategy for not just building real wealth, but actually protecting it from a society that is, let's face it, completely obsessed with flexing and keeping up appearances.
We're going to kick things off with a foundational idea from former Fed Chairman Ben Bernanke. He pointed out that financial literacy empowers consumers. And honestly, what this boils down to is that financial literacy is power. It gives you true, tangible control over your future, rather than just leaving you as a victim to your own lifestyle impulses.
Here is our roadmap for today. We'll be defining true wealth, looking at budgeting and controlling debt, diving into investing and compound interest, exploring the stealth wealth strategy, and finally, protecting your success quietly. Let's get right into it. Section 1, defining true wealth. So what is real wealth? Because as our sources point out, it is definitely not the guy flashing a leased BMW on Instagram. Statistically speaking, there's a good chance that guy is actually broke. The crucial point here is a very simple formula. True wealth, or your net worth, is literally just your assets minus your liabilities. Assets are the things you own that earn money or go up in value over time. Liabilities, well, those are the debts you owe. So that shiny new car that drops in value the second you drive it off the lot, yeah, that isn't wealth. That is a liability. And this brings us to two very distinct behavioral archetypes when it comes to managing money. On one hand, we have Betty, the planner. She budgets carefully to control her future. On the other hand, we have Lynn, the impulsive, who finances immediate gratification and ends up living paycheck to paycheck. If we want to build real wealth, we absolutely have to become planners. Moving on to Section 2, budgeting and controlling debt. So how exactly do we shift our mindset to become a bit more like Betty and take control of our financial trajectory? The mechanical foundation is pretty straightforward, and it's built on 3 key blocks. First up, you've got a budget to save. That means strictly tracking your daily expenses. Second, you have to control your debt. We have to stop putting day-to-day lifestyle costs on credit cards, which, let's be real, just charge compound interest against you. You've got to aggressively pay down that high-interest debt so you can free up your capital for the third block, saving and investing. The sheer scale of what controlling your debt can do for you is honestly staggering. Take a $118,000 home loan, for example. By simply choosing a 15-year mortgage over a traditional 30-year mortgage, you can save a mind-blowing $106,119 in pure interest. That's over $100,000 staying in your pocket instead of going straight to the bank. Section 3, investing and compound interest. Once you've wrestled that debt under control and freed up your capital by tracking your expenses, well, now it's time to put those hard-earned dollars to work. The reality of the math here is just fascinating. A 20-year-old who invests a tiny amount, just $2,743 a year, hits the exact same million-dollar retirement mark as a 40-year-old who is scrambling to invest over $18,000 a year. It is the exact same result. But the 40-year-old has to invest roughly 7 times as much annually just to catch up. Crazy, right? So the big takeaway here is that you need to put your cash into wealth-generating vehicles as early as humanly possible. We're talking IRAs, 401ks, index funds. Once the money is sitting there, you just step back and let the magic of compound interest do the heavy lifting in the background. It's literally earning money on top of the money it already earned. Which brings us to Section 4. The stealth wealth strategy. Now that you know the basic mechanics of making the money, here is the wild twist. Broadcasting your success will actively destroy it. We are officially entering the world of stealth wealth. Look at this tiny number, $31,500. That represents the exact price Warren Buffett paid for his house in 1958. It's a totally modest home, and he still lives in it today. It completely shatters this illusion that billionaires need mega mansions. Actually, research shows that 80% of millionaires live in middle-class neighborhoods and drive used cars. They are invisibly wealthy. Consider this, a high-earning doctor driving a beat-up 7-year-old Toyota who quietly compounds $3 million in absolute peace, mainly because his neighbors just assume he's barely scraping by. Meanwhile, his neighbor in a luxury zip code is drowning in debt just to maintain a wealthy image and manages to save only $20,000 over 10 entire years. The gap between what you earn and what you appear to earn, that is your actual wealth-building zone. Which brings us to arguably the most dangerous question you can ever be asked. How much do you make? When someone inevitably drops this question, You have to remember that your income is classified information. Sharing it, that only invites loan requests from friends, resentment from coworkers, and immense lifestyle pressure to spend what you just announced you earn. Because of that, you must master the deflection playbook. When asked about your income, just give a vague acknowledgement like, enough to pay the bills, and then instantly change the subject. Did you see the game last night? You want to shut down those income questions with total confidence and absolutely zero apologies. Section 5. Protecting your success quietly. Let's see how all of this builds into a comprehensive system for making your assets entirely invisible, because privacy is your ultimate protection. Real wealth is hidden in private structures. Level 1 starts with something as simple as separating your checking and savings into different banks so your balances aren't easily visible or casually accessible on your phone screen. Level 2 advances to hidden high-yield savings and private brokerage accounts. And finally, Level 3 is for advanced wealth, using trusts and LLCs to legally separate your assets from your visible everyday lifestyle. Now, this next rule is absolutely crucial. You must maintain complete social media silence about your financial wins. Every luxury post, whether it's a new car, a fancy vacation, or a big promotion, is a giant target on your back. It attracts problems like blood attracts sharks in the water. So stick to the safe list. Post pictures of your pets, your weekend hike, your hobbies. Let your wealth grow quietly in the dark. And you also want to never ever discuss your specific investments. Our source highlights a really powerful story about an investor who thought he was being super generous by sharing a tech stock tip. But when the stock tanked, his friend lost $8,000. Suddenly, the investor was the one being blamed. He essentially became an unpaid financial advisor facing all of the liability and zero upside. Keep your investment strategies strictly to yourself. All of this leads right back to an ancient military strategy from Sun Tzu. Appear weak when you are strong. It applies so perfectly to personal finance. Actively letting people underestimate you by looking average on the outside is honestly your ultimate wealth protection insurance. It gives you the total freedom to build empires in private, while everyone else just assumes you're getting by. As we wrap up this explainer, you are left with a very simple choice. Will you perform for likes, try to look rich, and invite constant pressure and debt into your life? Or will you choose to look average, secure the absolute freedom of compound interest, and build your millions in total silence? The mechanics of wealth are simple, but the stealth mindset, that is everything. Choose wisely.